Hey guys, this is Mark Hagan, and today I'm going to show you how to build a QR generator. So we're going to be making QR codes in ASP.NET. It's very easy, and it'll only take a minute. So we're going to use an open source QR generating software package rather than one of the many available websites where you can just pass it a URL or string and it'll make the QR code for you. And I thought this would be more fun than just using something somebody else has already built. And it gives you an opportunity to get back into NuGet and find a package that's kind of fun to work with. So we're going to start by creating an empty ASP.NET application, and we'll just call it code creator, and create that new empty project. And the first thing we're going to do is find the package that we want to reference for this. So let's go to Manage our NuGet. Sorry, let me go a little slower. We're going to go to Tools, Library Package Manager, Manage NuGet Packages for Solution. And you're going to want to search for QR code as one word. And if you don't, if you just search for QR, then it doesn't meet the minimum search requirements, so you'll just find everything. So do a QR code search. Click the second library here, this QR code library, and then click Install, and then hit OK. And this will run through the process and install the couple references that it needs. Close this, and you see from this added packages.config that it went ahead and added your messaging toolkit.QR code package to the solution. So now we're going to create a new web form here, and we're just going to call ours default. And on this web form, we're going to need to have an image. So we're going to create an ASP image control, run it server, and we're going to call it QR image. All right. And nothing fancy here. I'm not going to do a button or anything like that. I'm just going to, in the code behind, on page load, I'm going to populate that item with an image that we're going to save to our hard drive in the same working folder. So how do you do that? Well, the first thing we need to do is reference that library that we just included with NuGet. So we're going to we're going to type in messaging toolkit.qrcode.codec, and then we're going to do another one using messaging toolkit qrcode.codec.data. And we're going to end up including a few more, but we'll do the auto reference on those, and I'll show you guys how to do that. So first thing we want to do is we want to call the QR code encoder. All right, and we're going to call it encoder is equal to new encoder. So we're going to new up a quick encoder object, and then we're going to set the we're going to do the encoder.encode, and to this we're going to pass in any website you want, or maybe you want, like if you wanted it to make a phone call, you could do tel:555. And whenever somebody scans that code on their mobile phone, it'll actually bring it up in the phone dialer versus a URL. But we're just going to do a URL for this example. markhagan.me. So we're going to send them to my URL, which is where you can find this and all my other code samples for free in video tutorials. So, all right, we've created our encoding, and you'll see that the output type of this is actually bitmap. So we need to reference system.drawing, but we'll just do bitmap. And we'll call it image is equal to that. And it's going to say, oh no, I don't know what bitmap is. Well, if you know that you've got the reference kind of right, or you want .NET to at least try to figure it out for you, click on that once, and then just hold Control, hit period, and it brings up this menu. And it says, I know where to find that. It's in using system.drawing. You want me to include that? Click it, done, right? Pretty helpful. So hopefully that's taught you a little shortcut there. I think I want to save this as a JPEG. So what we're going to do is we're going to do image.save. And to this, we want to actually pass in the file path. We want to pass in the path for this project. So let's copy our project folder. And we need to go ahead and escape these guys out. And we want to call this image.jpg. And we want to give it a type. So I see right here that we have image format. And I already know what this goes to, JPEG. And it's going to say, oh no, I don't know what image format is. So Control period, and use system drawing image. And it auto includes that for us, so we're in great shape still. So we've now saved our QR code. Well, what do we want to do next? We want to bind our QR code image that is on the front page that we created here, this QR image control. We want to go ahead and set the image URL equal to image.jpg, which is the new JPEG that we just created. So that's it. Let's run this project. Let me get my phone ready while this ends. So I'm going to go ahead and get my QR code reader pulled up, and you see that it did generate the QR code. So if I pull up my QR code scanner, I can scan that, and I do get markhagen.me. So that's the end of the easy part. Now, if you wanted to get, you might say, well, all right, that was neat, but why waste my CPU whenever I can pass it off to Google, and they'll give me a QR code in response, and I can just, have that as my image source. Well, there's some advantages here, because this library, this open source library that we've included, first of all, we can modify it because it's open source. We're not bound by any quantity restrictions on creating QR codes, and there's some really neat stuff that you can do inside this encoder. Like I could do the encoder, and I could set the error correction. I could set the background color and things like that, but the things that I care about are this error correction. So I could say repeat the data inside this QR code, way more than what Google's going to do. Google's going to do the basic QR code without too many repeats, but the more you repeat, the more data that exists in there, which means that if I wanted to, say, cut the middle out of this image and put in like my company logo, I could do that with a higher error-corrected image, because it's going to repeat more often, and losing that middle piece of data really doesn't make much of a difference whenever you repeat that often. So maybe I'll do that as my next video. If that's something you guys are interested in, let me know. It's really easy to do, and I'll just have like what we have here. We'll type in a URL, and then I'll new up some objects that'll actually let me do image modifications and let you maybe upload your company logo, and it'll shrink it down and stick it in the middle of that image. Yeah, that sounds really cool. I think I'll do that next. But anyway, this should get you well on your way to creating your own QR codes, and you could probably see pretty quick how this could come in handy. You could do trackable QR codes by having a URL set here to like an autogen number. You could send them to like ASDF1234. You could send them to like track.aspx, and then you could pass in like IDs equal to that, or you have something like this in a rewrite that looks for this value and then looks it up in the database and then says, this actually needs to go here, and I'll do a response redirect. So you can get really creative with what you do with this. But hopefully this was helpful. Please make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, and if you have any questions, you can leave them on YouTube or email me or hit me up on Twitter. As always, the source code for this will be put here on the markhagen.me website. You can see I've got some others in the process of going live. That'll be up here in a minute. But just get on here and check it out, and let me know what you guys think. And if you have anything specific that you'd like to see, let me know, and I'll build it for you. Thank you.